Dr. Majid, let's go to our next story this morning. It's in the Daily Trust newspaper. This story is on page 31 of the Daily Trust. DSS resolves NUPENG Dangote Group rift. Strike suspended. What's your reaction to this?
When anything has to do with energy, has to do with national security, because energy is an integral part of national security. So for the DSS to be involved will mean that they are coming from the side, from the angle of national security, pointing out to the various actors why this might jeopardize Nigeria's security at the moment. Maybe showing them verifiable, tangible intelligence that suggests that, look, if you go ahead with this action, so and so might happen to the entire country, and nobody wants to be responsible for any problem that will escalate our already existing problem. So that is the angle from which the DSS is coming in to intervene. But many people might raise concerns as to why is it not the Ministry of Labour that is resolving the matter? Why the DSS? It's because energy borders on national security. So an important, organ or arm of government or agency of government that is in charge of national security or part of the national security structure definitely will take proactive steps such as this to present all sides with credible intelligence as to the consequences of these actions they may want to take or not take. So, and persuade them otherwise, while also having a feedback mechanism to the presidency and to all parties as to what to do to arrive at a safe compromise. So, I will say kudos to the DSS. I will say kudos to the director of the DSS. I mean, Tosin Ajayi has shown us how far DSS can go in matters like this. So we commend them for that. So whenever they do something that is good, we commend them. Whenever they do something that is not so appropriate, we also come out here to call them out and say, look, we can do better. So on this, I think they've done well to prevent that what would have been a very destabilizing industrial action by a major union in the energy sector.
I want us to look at the matter itself, the issue between Dangote and NUPENG itself. Dangote is saying, look, you can't force my drivers to join your organization. They may even decide to go and join the DTCDA. That's another organization that is alleged to have been formed by himself and Dantata. But the NUPENG is saying, look, this is slavery. You can't force your workers to go and join another body that is not recognized. Because it is their job to protect the interests of workers in the oil sector. I mean, what is your thought on Dangote's position, saying that his workers, his drivers, will not join NUPENG, and NUPENG insisting your drivers must join us?
For me, I think NUPENG is going on an overstretch of both its mandates, its powers, and its sphere of influence. You see, the problem is that we are in a market-driven economy now, particularly in the energy sector that has been deregulated completely. Free entry, free exit, free participation, freedom not to participate. And that includes unionization too. Under our current laws, you cannot force anybody to join any union, including tanker drivers. You can't force them to join NUPENG. NUPENG cannot be making a case for them to join them. Dangote, on the other hand, can also not prevent his workers from joining any union they so desire to join. Now the question is this: who is the complainant? Is it Dangote workers? Do you have a case where Dangote workers have come out to say we want to unionize and Dangote is preventing us from unionizing? Have they come out to say, look, as a group, maybe we are 1,000 strong workforce and want to join NUPENG? Dangote workers, Dangote tanker drivers and other workers want to join NUPENG, and Dangote is preventing them from joining NUPENG? I've not seen that. Rather, it is NUPENG that is saying, look, we need to expand our strong influence to accommodate this large workforce that is not the Dangote oil and gas industry. And they do not have such powers. And again, like I said previously, they cannot weaponize their power of being unions to inflict pain on the country just because of their own self-interest as a union. But it is highly responsible. So Dangote and its workers have the right to decide collectively between them how to unionize, how not to unionize. These are largely individual, collective, and personal matters to the employer and the employee. The only time the NUPENG can be interested is if the workers are seeking to join NUPENG, and they say no, you can't join the join. So the question now is Dangote workers Are they the ones demanding to join NUPENG and Dangote is saying no? Or is it NUPENG that wants to go and poach workers from Dangote in order to strengthen their own sphere of influence? Because if you look at the magnanimity of Dangote's operations, I mean the magnitude of his operations, yes, any union that does not include Dangote at this point in time might not have the kind of effect you have in, for example, they go on strike because, I mean, Dangote can keep supplying the market without any interference, any interruptions.
Right.
But the question is this: you cannot force these things. You can't. It's a free market enterprise we're practicing now. I mean, I did not support it. I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but that is the reality. The PIA has freed up the entire space. And you cannot force anybody to join any union. Neither can you prevent anybody from joining any union. Again, the question is, are Dangote workers wanting to join the NUPENG and Dangote preventing them from doing so? I've not seen any report anywhere that suggests that.
That's right. I haven't myself. I haven't. Let's move on to our next story in the Punch newspaper. Page 2. 2027 presidency. Jonathan splits South PDP. That's the story here on page 2 of the Punch. Dr. Majeed, it seems as though this rumored poaching of President Jonathan back into the PDP is not going anywhere soon, and it's looking like yes, it sounds like rumor, but if he's splitting a PDP caucus like this, I think we are past rumor at this point. But what's your thought first on that story unconfirmed that President Jonathan may be going back to the PDP as their standard bearer in 2027? What's your reaction to that? Let's begin from there.
Okay, first, as a Nigerian citizen, I'm one of those who believe that Nigeria, as a 26-year-old democracy, needs some resetting of sort. We need to press the reset button now, because to me, we are seeing the worst of African kind of democracy. Urgent reform, urgent resetting across board completely. And to do that democratically will require a transformational and a reform-minded leadership at the very top that can lead that reform and kind of help us to reset. It's like trying to reposition our democracy onto a path to yield dividends, and to do that across the entire country. Now, you need a leader that is not going to be thinking of the next election to do this. You need a leader that will be thinking of the next election to do this. A statesman kind of leader. Now, if you put all of this together, then you will agree with me that a Jonathan may just qualify because, one, Jonathan had been president before. He lost an election. He's like a man who died, went to heaven, and saw that there was paradise and there was hell, truly. And because of the little good deeds he did while he was on earth, he was put in the top-class compartment of paradise to receive some fresh air. And so he was not an opportunity to come back to earth. He would want to do much more than he did before to qualify him for the first-class compartment of paradise. This is not like, a metaphoric analysis of the matter. So what I'm saying is that Jonathan has been out of power. He has seen that the little good deeds he did in power, including democratic reforms, has earned him global recognition as an African statesman. And Jonathan is still young, relatively speaking, meaning that if he comes out to presidency, he's likely to want to improve on the records he set before, so that for the remainder of his public service life after office, he will even have more accolades globally to even, to expand his own sphere of influence in terms of delivery of good governance.